Alright, this is Calibos, and we are playing Enigmatica 2. So you'll notice a slight difference here, like that. I also have clearly made some drives and some disks. These are all 64s, as are these. That took me a little bit of grinding. And upstairs, you'll see that this cable, which has one channel, goes straight into this quantum ring. And the reason for the quantum ring, we'll pop in here, quantum ring. So I got rid of all of that, and now we have access to everything in here. And that's so just in case this gets blown up, I can not have to worry about it excessively. Now there is a slight downside to the moving process, is I had to relocate the matter condenser, and in doing so I reset the timer. So I'm going to have to probably spend a second upgrading this. Let's see if we can. Oops, come on. There we go. So we want some upgrades. We want to go ahead and do this if we can. So this is going to be a lot friendlier to... oh, that was a quest. This is going to be a lot friendlier as far as... Where is that quest? Maybe we can... Thermal expansion. Here. Scanner. I have no idea what that means, but we have it. Yep, I don't know. So we'll charge that up again. It's charged. And we'll pop it in here for later. So let's make the second one. Whoops, whoops. I really am kind of annoyed with the whole, it doesn't, let's look for gold and silver. So I've also been like processing stuff through here while I'm at it, and I just, this will show you how much time and stuff has passed in game, not in episodes because I haven't actually done any more, but we'll look at environmental tech. So ionite crystals, we have 548, you know, chironite, litherite, palladium. So yeah, we've made a little bit of progress there. Environmental tech. So I've actually even got the ionite blocks. So all we have to do, for example, is, oops, do this, and now we have the tier 5. So we can turn in that quest. Basalt. Yay. So one of the downsides to this is if I had left that as a separate stack, it would have, or separate thing, it would have taken a separate space in here. So that would have been kind of a hassle and a half. Weird. So let's all smelting. We'll grab this, and then we'll put about does it not allow us to combine them? See, I'd set this up a little bit, and clearly it's kind of giving me some issues now. Where is it going? Oh, here. And then we need to stop that. Pop that in there. Pop that in there. So yeah, I've made a little bit of progress as far as that goes. The fifth tier of structure frame is going to be something that we're going to have to wait on a little bit, because we're going to need nether stars for each of them. And we're going to need 72 nether stars. So nether stars we're basically going to be getting from rare urns in Thaumcraft or killing withers. I am not interested in fighting a wither the reasonable way. Like I have no desire to give them a shot at all. I wonder where the rest of the silver went. Oops. Huh. Guess we're going to have to do this another way. I don't know why the alloy furnace won't make an alloy. That disturbs me slightly. Isn't this how we made it before? Alloy smelter, silver, gold, electrum. But we tried that. Okay, now it's doing shiny things. So we'll have to, we'll do this. We'll cook everything through, but that gives us enough electrum to start. So that gives us the reinforced one. So now that should be even faster. Because the idea is we're actually going to be using these. I'm going to set up a couple more of them up there, one of them for each one of these, so that we can have access to our storage from every place. So that is the goal. We'll just have to see how well it works. Okay. So that is why I want this to go faster. And it completes a quest for us. So, thermal, upgrade. So now we're going to need Blizz powder, which is going to need us to require, or need us to go into, thermal expansion a little bit better. So this is probably good for now. Another thing that's going to be an issue is we're going to have to come on. We're going to have to arrange better power. So what we have now is okay power, but we're going to need more. Because each one of these pieces requires power. The whatchamacallit, where's my thing? There it is. You know, all the stuff in the IC2 is pulling power, you know, to stay full. CSU, the MFSU, all of this nonsense. So let's break that. And let's get back to IC2 so we can finish it. I have some other cool things that I'd like to do. And we're going to have to get into making nether stars and such. So let's go for a nuclear reactor. Well, let's make a mining laser. So what do we need for the mining laser? Whoa, that was weird. There we go. So we're going to need some advanced alloys, some advanced circuits, and an energy crystal. Do we have any energy crystals in here? So this will give us energy crystals if we condense it. So we're also going to need IC2, the so that's making, we're going to need a advanced circuit, which is going to, no, stop that. One of these. Now we need one of these. And now we need, so, some advanced alloys, which is going to be mixed metal ingots, which is going to be plates. Okay, so so we're going to need 12 iron, 12 bronze, and 12 tin. Do we have bronze in here? So bronze is copper and tin. So that should be the recipe. So we'll macerate some things really quick. And while we're doing that, so we're going to need also tin and then some iron. So tin, iron, metal former roller, toss that through. How's that doing? So throw the copper through. So the idea is we're basically just going to be doing this to make the bronze blend and then popping it through the furnace here. You know, and then waiting forever for this metal former, of course. So another thing that we can be doing while we're waiting for that is let's look and start gathering new for this. So let's make a nuclear reactor. Oops, that is going to just keep adjusting. I know, you're asking yourself, who would trust me with a nuclear reactor? The question is, who wouldn't trust me with a nuclear reactor? I'm a perfectly reasonable person. I grow trees in a giant cube. That seems normal. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't trust me with one. So I have the nasty suspicion that we are going to... Oh, monkeys. Oh, this seems like a terrible choice. Yeah, I'm not super excited by the idea of building a reactor, and honestly, don't we need like a radiation suit or something? Yeah, like a hazmat suit of something. So how about orange dye? So that's part of it. So that's that. That's that. That's that. That's that. So now we can start cooking down the rest of this. Metal former, the iron plates are done. We can start the tin through. We're probably going to need more iron plates after this. So when we are done with all of these, you know, the ones we're doing, I'll just start more iron through. So, is that going to let me claim one? Because we made that earlier. Advanced computer. We'll put the computer in the computer. Computerception. Induction furnace. That's super annoying. IC2 induction furnace. So we're going to need to be making a lot of this alloy. Okay, that's good to know. Well, we'll have at least 64 blocks of it in a second. Yeah, that takes forever. A recycler produces scraps if you feed it with item and power. Recycler. There we go. Recycler. So that gives us a recycler. And we are going to recycler power tier 1. I think it needs to go over here. And it's going to want cobble as well. So let's see what happens if we give it a little bit of cobble. Copper. So that gives us scrap. So we can just keep feeding stuff into it. And it doesn't matter what the item is, just that it gets an item. And then, you know, you get scrap. So the scrap you can use to make scrap boxes or fertilizer. You can also use it to smelt items, you know, for various things. But you can make scrap boxes, which you can also use to smelt items. But you can use to get random things back. So they're not always useful things, but they might be. As you can see, the list of items that you get, it's mostly all vanilla items, and I think yeah, so it'll just keep doing its happy little thing and making that weird noise that it makes, and there we go. Now we're going to do this. So remember, we need 3 of these. It's like iron, bronze, and tin. That gives us the mixed metal ingots, and then the mixed metal ingots have to go in the compressor. And each mixed metal ingot gives us advanced alloy. One more of these, and then we'll do that. So, looks like our time is up. So we're going to go ahead and... Oops, I think it's actually like this. We're going to make a couple more ingots. I think we need 4 for the gun, or mining thing, or whatever. So this and that. What? We have the energy crystal. There we go. That gives us the mining laser. And we'll grab that. And then we are going to grab the scrap out of here, which completes the other quest. We're gonna toss this in here. Cow in a jar, because we always needed a cow in a jar. Alright, so I think like we've completed 2 quests, and these are kind of like high-end difficult quests. I'm going to look into the reactor a little bit and get some of the tools I need to build that. We're probably going to just set it up enough to make the fuel, because we have to basically process plutonium into the RTG. We're going to need protective gear, and I'm going to set one up. It's going to run just long enough to process the fuel, and then I am going to take it apart, because if you set it up incorrectly, they explode. Also, they're not joking about the protective gear. Like, you will get radiation poisoning and die just from picking up stuff. So that's kind of an issue. I also want to work my way through making like the induction furnace and the centrifuge, and work my way down this. So the mass fabricator will produce UU matter, and it uses basically power and scrap. So that is a typo. The scrap, of course, we get from this. So I'll probably set up a separate thing, and just like in the other one, I'll set up a thermal foundation, whatchamacallit, to feed cobble into it, and then slowly produce UU matter. I'm not worried about making a lot of UU matter. I don't especially see any crazy need for it, but it will be able to duplicate things that are going to be fairly challenging to duplicate later, like dragon eggs and dragon hearts and stuff like that, maybe. So we'll get it going and see what it costs us, and then I'll decide whether we need to expand production of it. I'm not especially worried about the power as of this moment. We're producing enough, and I can set up more production later once we decide we need it or I get the materials for it. So, I mean, if we look at this, we have, oops, uranium. So I actually took all of the uranium out of the system, and we're back up to 188. So we have plenty of uranium to expand the big reactor into something a bit more significant. And if I need to, we'll actually set it up in the overworld, and we'll set up a whatchamacallit, we'll set up a turbine. So turbines produce a lot more power, and So the reactor we have now is what's called a passively cooled reactor. It just radiates heat, and from the heat it collects power. A turbine is an actively cooled reactor. So we would basically pump a fluid through it, usually water. The water turns into steam, and the steam turns a turbine, which gives us power. That is by far the most efficient for power, typically. So it will give us a lot more bang for our buck. But we don't actually need that much power yet. So we'll have to see exactly how far along we need to go. Like if we get to a lot of making a lot of UU matter for whatever reason, and it requires significant increase in our power output, you know, or the environmental tech thing starts to require more power than we're producing, then yeah, absolutely, I will up our power situation, and I'll work you guys through the steps that I used to build it. I mean, you saw me build the last one, so I think you saw me build the last one. No, maybe you didn't. But I'll work you through the steps and what's required to build it, and we'll discuss whether we need a turbine or anything. But yeah, so now that you've listened to me ramble for 6 extra minutes, I'm going to let you guys go. So if you like the episode, leave a like. If you don't like the episode, don't leave a like. Simple as that. Questions, comments, concerns can all go below. Any suggestions about improving the episodes, or you know, something you want to see, I will definitely consider them. So yeah, have a good night.